Hey, welcome. So glad that you have chosen to be here. My name is Tracy Garcia, and this flow is called Birds in Paradise. So I hope you can find yourself a most comfortable seat or lying down position. And I just want to find our root, bring it on in so we can make our bodies light to take flight. So bring your body to your most comfortable seated position or lying down position. I like to prop my hips a little higher than where my feet are. And be a little bit more active in your seat, where you can perhaps sense lengthening into your spine, lengthening into those low back curves. We need to have curves in our spine to make us light in our bones, so we have better reception to find balance, to find flight, to find breath. And when you're ready, close your eyes, or maybe keep them open and look around and just absorb yourself into nature, and to take all the senses in with what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what you're smelling. Maybe it's even the taste in the mouth, and just bringing in all those common senses into your practice today. And just notice if you can break down your breath, beginning with the expansion of space between the ribs. Notice how you expand into the ribs underneath the left side of the armpit, maybe even using the sense of touch to your hand to the ribs and giving it a little feedback to opening up space between each of those costals, the ribs. And then switch sides, maybe to the right, breathing in to that side body and just noticing how that expansion where the armpits reside are like our wings. And if we can breathe into the side body, if you can take breath into the left side body, right side body, and sense that on the inhale, as you open up and create more space, you have more lightness, especially as you exhale, breathing in all the sensations of that breath into the side body of your ribs. Nothing to control other than just being the observer of how you breathe in breath into the sides, and maybe even tuning into how you break the breath down into the sternum, into the breastbone. Bring in your hand to touch sensation to that breastbone, and then sensing how that breath works its magic to the tip of the spine where the skull resides, all the way down to where the hips are, where the bottom and the base of the skull reside. All the way up, all the way down. Breathing into the front and back with beautiful sensation. And notice as you breathe to the top, feel its lightness. And as you exhale, that lightness travels all the way down and all the way up by just creating some space between these vertebrae. It makes your spine light where it can take flight. Maybe even your head senses a little bit more lightness and how it's rested on the top of your skull. Feeling breath, feeling that magic happen. Maybe even breaking down your breath into the top and the bottom, as well as the front and the back. All the way up, all the way down, all the way front, back, top, to the top of the spine, to the base of the skull, and all the way in between. How to make the trunk of your torso, fill it with air, fill it with breath, making it light. And now bring your hands to the sternum itself, hands together into prayer. And then interlace the fingers and using that breath to bring that reach over the crown of the head, give it a good morning stretch, good evening stretch, good afternoon stretch, bending at the left elbow, opening up to the right. And then notice as you come down, if you can kind of flare the pinky under as you're reaching, and how you can get more deeper into that armpit space. And then interlacing those fingers, give it a good stretch, good morning stretch, good evening stretch. We should be stretching throughout our day, throughout our life. Right elbow bends, left elbow bends, and seeing if you can flare that pinky to wrap under and feel how much strength and power you have in your wings. And just like as a bird, as it leaves the ground, it has this thrust sense, and the wings are slightly curved, and how we can create that curve and sensation even as we bring down our own hands and feeling that thrust as the air is beneath our wings. And then bring the hands and then just pedal them out. And then broadening the collarbones and then gently wrapping the triceps so the pits of the elbows are looking away or looking towards me. And keeping that amazing heart space open and finding lightness in the skull as you allow the head to independently move without anything else becoming affected and becoming involved. And how we can bring some of these concepts into a flow today so you can take flight. So I'm hoping you have your wings, whether they're angel wings, eagle wings, pelican wings, whatever wings there are. Let's feel how it feels to take flight. I want you to come into your facing down position and try to pick up the front of the arm bones here and circling the elbow points. And then invite the shoulders down, coming into locust, Feel the wings here and just revolving the arms independently from the shoulders. And interlace the fingers behind your hips. And then see if you can rise on up. Feel energy to the tops of the thighs. Feel energy into the front body. Sensing the shoulders migrating south and the low back space veering up north. And then adding those hands to plant. Hips lift up, push down to lift up. Toes tuck under. And then coming into child's pose. And then resting the insteps down. Gripping all 10 fingers, inviting those shoulders to be invited down as you roll them under. Toes tuck under. And then insteps, press down. Gripping all 10 fingers, toes tuck under, hips lift up. Take flight, feel the lightness of your pelvis as you come into down dog. Pedaling out the feet. And then maybe gripping the fingertips, feeling the shoulders anchored down the back as you just add a little swivel to the hips. Just be curious as to how you can feel movement in those hips. Coming back to front, left foot lifts, bend the knee, open up the hips, flexing at the ankle, and then rebending that bottom knee, rebalancing that left hip point, and then bringing it into the chest. See if you can lift up the tail, feeling that imaginary string come from the tail up towards the sky. Feel that lightness in the pelvis, and then rebending at the hip, opening up the hip, keeping active energy of both hands to be present. Rebalancing that hip, left knee comes in. Feel that lightness as you push down to lift up into that tail. And then one more time, bending the knee, opening up the hip. And then as you rebend, push down to lift up the hip. Left foot plants. Right knee drops. Interlace the fingers behind the body, rolling the shoulders, pushing down to make that lightness. Bringing the hands on the front of the shoulders as you open it up. Open up that chest. And heel pushes away. And then feel that lightness as you push down to lift up. Using the synergy of those grounding reflexes of the feet as you bring it down. And then feeling that thrust open, maybe bending at the elbows. Circling, using the pinkies to scoop, and then landing that back knee, dropping the hands to plant, left foot steps back, find that plank position, keep the hips lifted so you have a gentle curve, dropping the knees, or maybe lowering all the way down for 4, 3, 2, 1, find that locust. Using the hands to plant to the front of the shoulders. As you invite those shoulders down, feel the migration southbound of the shoulders and the low back space northbound. And gently open it up, interlace the fingers, and then take a little bit more height in those energy in front of the thighs. Feel that love of sunshine or wherever you are at. Maybe it's through a window, taking in nature. Hoping you're enjoying the landscape in amazing Asbury Park, New Jersey. Toes tuck under, hips lift up. Get the lightest portion or the heaviest portion to feel light as you move it into down dog. Pedaling out the feet. And then swivel to the left, swivel to the right. This is my dog Tilly. And she's a good girl. Yes, she is. Checking out the sunshine, right foot lifts, bend the knee, open up the hip, gripping all 10 fingers,
Get the shoulders to be heavy on the back body, rebalancing that hip point, and then moving it into a figure eight, internal rotation, external rotation, and then adding that bend of the knee, flexing at the ankles, keeping that joint space to be active, to find space between the bones, and then rebalancing the hip. She's always trying to find recruits. And then that right foot's going to step down, back knee steps down. Interlace the fingers, opening up the hips. And let's take flight. Adding the hands on front of the shoulders. And roll, baby, roll. Allow those arms to reach. Open and feel that thrust as you're scooping under. And reaching back. How that works its mojo. Come here, Till! Both hands plant. And we're coming through, pressing that heel up and lifting as we reach and as we open. Yeah, bowl is much more fun than yoga. Come here, baby. Right, all good, man. She could do this all day. Don't let her fool you. Thank you. She is a sweet girl. Yes, you are. You are a sweet girl. Good girl. Woo! Yeah, how do we take flight? Come on, try it again. As we push down, having that little healthy curve. As we lift, feeling that length of the spine, and as we come through, feel that thrust under as we move those elbows back. So if we have the shoulders over the hips and the hips under the shoulders, we have a lot more lightness in the whole trunk and torso of our body. Let's feel how we can land that back knee. Feel that lowering down, both hands plant, right foot steps back into plank, either dropping the knees, wrap those elbow points so you have this lightness in your body to lower down for 4, 3, 2, 1, baby cobra, maybe upward dog. If that's in your practice, I really put more demand on the insteps as I wrap those triceps. Flip those dogs, hips lift up. Left foot lifts, left foot steps forward. And as you land, try to create space of the low back so the feet push away. And as we lift, we're very sturdy in our high crescent lunge. How'd you do? And then feel that magical thrust, thrusting the air between your wings, underneath your wings, above your wings, and then take flight. Find that airplane. But feeling those curves, maybe adding some altitude, lower and lifting. And then finally, we're gonna open up that left hip or right hip point. See if you can find that balance. I'm gonna create some lightness in my footprint by doming the arches. And anytime I feel like I'm losing space, I might kind of grip my toes, but maybe even allow that heel bone to shift more in. So I'm using my rooted core line. And then feel it. Maybe using opposition on the inside edge of the thigh. Let that ankle shake. Flex that back ankle. And we're hanging and holding, opening up the heart space. Feel the shoulders migrate southbound as that low back space goes northbound. We're going to rebend that back knee and really feel that hip to stay open. And if we're kind of being faulty. That's okay. Go right back into it. But use the bowl mound to let that bootylicious be a little bit more beautiful as we land, and then crossing that right ankle, eagle legs, right leg over, right arm under, nest your eagle. Tilly! And then nest it. There she is. She's right in front of me. I didn't see her from the sun glare. She doesn't go too far. She stays really close to my side, and of course she has a ball. We're going to uncross our eagle leg and then see if we can push into the bowl mound to get our hips to go a little bit more to lift, and find that airplane with eagle arms. Glute is working, maybe finding some altitude, and then finally landing the bowl mound, keeping the curvature of your spine, and then open it up. Take flight, and then sweep it, open it. Feel the air beneath your wings. Both hands plant. Three-legged plank. And then feel how you can grip, but get the hips to lift up. You could always drop that right knee, but we're lowering down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe baby cobra. Keep opening up that heart space. Maybe it's upward dog. Feel that empower. Feel that power. Okay, we're going to flip those dogs. Hips lift up. Feel the curves of the low back. So many times we lift up and tuck under. We want to be light between our bones today as the right foot lifts, right foot steps forward, and we're using both feet to push down to lift us up. Find your curves. And then find your airplane. Heart space leads the way. Maybe rebending your knee so you can make your hips a little lighter as they find that anterior tilt. Get some altitude, lifting and lowering. Maybe lowering all the way down to grab your ball. It's so good having that shake. And then flexing at the ankle so you can get some opposition on the inside edge of the leg as you allow the hip to open. Length through strength in those lateral hip stabilizers. Maybe you're reaching for that instep. If that is in your practice. But using breath and sensation to make you light, to make that spine long. Rebalance the hip, coming back to eagle. So we're going to lift up. Left leg crosses, eagle legs, and nest your eagle. Using the inner thighs to give you lightness as those hips move back. Maybe interlace the fingers. Grow your spine long so you have more space between your bones. We're going to left leg crosses, left arm under. Find your eagle, nest your eagle, and see if you can broaden those collarbones. If there's something in your practice that kind of cramps your style, do something that gives you lightness, gives you flight. And then we're lifting. I love the push of the ball mound to remind my spine to have that length. And then Uncrossing my eagle leg, keeping my eagle arms. Wow, that shake of the ankle, so valuable. Maybe you can close your eyes. Woohoo! Whole different ball wax. But anytime you're not too sure, push into the ball mound to lengthen that spine. Both hands uncross those eagle legs. Both hands land, shoulders move down the back, three-legged plank. And then wrap those triceps. Feel migration of the shoulders down the back as low back space. Keep yourself lifted for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick up the front of the arm bones. Find your locust. Breathe, baby, breathe. Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kiss? Thank you. Thank you, good girl. Oh my God. So fortunate, so lucky to have this day with my best friend, Tilly. You're such a good girl. Both hands plant, toes tuck under, hips lift up. And let's press down to lift up. Big toes come together, knees grow wide, find that child's pose. And then just wander around, maybe bring those arms open, feel those wings, feel the air beneath your wings as you move it to one side. Come on, Till! Move it to the other. Feel how much power you have on the back of the body. Interlace the fingers. Tilly! Open up the heart space. And just breathing, cherishing this lightness that we have each and every time we breathe, every time that we move. So important, so empowering to have our breath be deep to the bones. I'm gonna bring the hips into cow, upper body into chest open. Tilly! And then we're going to gently lift up into down dog. Left foot lifts. Bend the knee, open up the hip. And maybe tent the right hands. Feel the shoulders migrate down here. And then push into ball mound to the feet as you're tipping. But keep those triceps wrapping. And then maybe in a diagonal, we're stepping left foot, right foot lifts. Find that lift off into airplane. And open it up into half moon. And feel that freedom of the leg. And then I'm opening up, keeping the hip open as I do a wide angle. Wide angle. Both hands plant, just stretching out the inner thighs from side to side. And then maybe adding that reach of the arm lifted. Toe lifted. If you're a little higher, but just feel how you can demand curve of your spine to keep you light. And we're going to lean on in to that right foot. Bent knee side angle. Feel the lightness of the hips. Feel the low back space being created with the shoulders migrating down. And then maybe come on underneath, but wrapping, maybe gripping the fingers here as you lower and land that back knee. Maybe a block. If you don't want to thread the hand underneath, then try it in a different way. Try it in a way that works better for you. And then maybe As we land, maybe interlacing the fingers behind our body as we move to the side, move to the front, move to the side, move to the front. And the hands don't have to be touching. You don't want to lose that lightness of the heart space. But what you do want to do is feel that ground down energy. I'm going to pick up the back knee, warrior 2 feet. And then just kind of wandering. I'm going to step or slide my left foot in and then use my hips to go into tilt. Shoulders go northbound and then push down to lift up. Maybe take a few attempts, pushing down into the ball mound, ground down to lift up, pushing into the ball mound, feeling glute fire. I have the heel more internally rotated. Maybe extending a leg. Ground to lift down. Take that flight. Maybe unload. Maybe a toe grab. This allows my chest to feel a little bit more open. Oof. Taking breath, taking sensation, making it your own. That Drizzy move of moving your head is so challenging. That's why they call it practice. Open it, thrust it, make it your own. Good girl. Both hands are going to plant. 3-legged plank. Wrapping those triceps. Heart leads the way for 4, 3, 2, 1. Get some breath sensation. Energy felt underneath the tops of the thighs. Hips lift up first, get it out of the picture. Get a little closer, tail. And then feel that energy moving from one wing to the other. Taking your time, taking in breath, taking sensation. And then I'm being active with pushing my shin bone so I can feel the hips kind of grab on that length through strength. Lifting, interlacing, opening it up. Looking around, both hands plant, toes tuck under, find your cow. Hips lift up, down dog. To lift up that left foot and then landing that left foot to land, maybe opening it up wide angle. Tilly! Just kind of playing. Here you are. Maybe interlacing, maybe side angle. Can you move it closer? Thank you. Good girl. Bent knee, side angle, just enjoying the moments of how to find strength through length into the inner thighs. So much musculature is happening to lengthen, but don't forget about your feet to ground down to make it happen. Interlacing. You're stepping the back foot, maybe so. Pushing into the ball mound of the foot. Shoulders move southbound. Low back space moves northbound. Push down to get up. Woo. Maybe lowering down. You know what side is your favorite. So make sure you don't just do the side that is easier. Where can you acquire more space? For me, it's in my shoulder. So maybe I'll kind of corkscrew and thrust that wing a little more better on the underside of the armpit. Pushing down to lift up. Feeling that glute work. Feeling that breath work. Birds of paradise. Don't allow that hip to tuck under. When I go into the studio, it's on flat ground. It's very humbling, but that's okay, being out in the sand. Hips are anterior tilt. You're just hanging and holding, enjoying those holds. The magic is definitely in the hold. If your hip is coming under, you're going to lose. Anterior tilt, find that space. The low back. Maybe flattening out the ground underneath you. Stand tall. Stand proud. Take flight. All in the good of it. All in the fun of it. It's like the body thinks that by tucking and flexing the spine and rolling inward, it'll allow us to take flight, but it's just so the opposite. We get more flight through lightness of our bones to become long and luscious with tension and integrity. Both hands land. Three-legged plank. And then wrap those triceps for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Maybe baby cobra. Maybe upward dog. Being in the moment. What our animals can teach us. What our children can teach us. And we're moving into a wide angle, finding their cow. Hips lift up first, down dog. And then pushing into the balls of the feet. And then opening up. Find your wide angle as you shift. Maybe planting your triceps underneath and moving into crane. Using all 10 fingers, lengthen your spine, and sliding, holding, breathing, and then take flight, and then maybe ground. Forehead on the forearms, windshield wiper those legs from side to side, doing what feels right for you and your body. Always find your locust. Both hands plant. Hips lift up first. And then we're coming to frog legs. I'm going to just move to my side. Head is supportive. And then gently rock from side to side. From right to left, left to right. Maybe reaching for those knees and feel how we can open up the heart space and allow the hips to land. And if you could do that with a toe bind, chest opens, hips go down, maybe taking, but you're adding that grounding and hips to roll down. You want to use the low back curve, even in Happy Baby. It's too easy to just tuck it. But if we kind of challenge the length of our spine with curve, we'll have never a glass ceiling. Using feet, keeping the low back space, tail is dragging, triceps being pressed down. I think I'm out of the picture. But you're going to come into Savasana. Just allow those legs to roll all the way down to ground. And just taking some breath, taking some sensation of that amazing breath of yours as you use it to transport you to a place. Come here, come. Down, stay. Good girl. Transport you into a place where you can forever be humble in your body and give that body what it needs every day of your life. Allow that breath to roll up and roll down, finding space wherever you need it the most. Breathing breath into the space that you need it the most. Breaking down the breath into the ribs. Breaking the breath into the front, into the back. And of course, to the top of the crown, to both soles of your feet, and everything in between. And most humble, and take much gratitude into having you practice self-care and play in your body. Don't forget to play. Don't forget to find what allows you to take flight and to enjoy life. That's what it's all about. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you.